States. Let's bring in our Washington correspondent, Kethevane Gorjestani. Kethevane.
Yes, well, we're still waiting for an official statement or comment from the White House regarding Emmanuel Macron's re-election. I did speak to someone at the White House who said that it should be coming soon, that they were waiting to hear Emmanuel Macron's speech, and they were saying that they would be putting out a statement after the French president had spoken. So we are expecting this to happen any time now, but there is a sigh of relief here in Washington, especially among the Biden administration, because, of course, despite some disagreements over the past year, Joe Biden has really seen Emmanuel Macron as a key partner in what he's been calling the rebuilding of the NATO alliance, the rebuilding of the Western alliance, the battle between democracies and autocracies. And really, Emmanuel Macron has been one of his go-to partners in these efforts, and especially given the context with Russia's war in Ukraine. And he's really leaned on Emmanuel Macron as a sort of his go-to in Europe, but also as his partner in trying to get those Western allies together in sanctions against Russia, in support for Ukraine. And so when I spoke to administration members as well as congressional leadership on both sides before the second round, they were saying that they were worried about that, about how much Marine Le Pen could be a challenge to this alliance. And so there is really a sense that this was close, but that they are now comforted by the fact that this partner that they've so closely cooperated with is still going to be there going forward.
And this, of course, is despite that big falling out between France and the U.S. last fall over that submarine deal. Would you say Emmanuel Macron and Joe Biden are back on track?
Yes, that was a pretty big crisis, but it seems like the two leaders have moved on from there, and it might have been also, it's seen at least by some here in Washington, D.C., as a sort of wake-up call for the Biden administration regarding Europe as a whole, but France more particularly, and how much they needed to be in closer cooperation. And so we've seen this really happening in front of our eyes with the situation in Ukraine. And maybe if that crisis hadn't happened, there might have not been those very close contacts that they really focused on right after the AUKUS deal, talking between the ambassador here, the ambassador in France, the foreign ministers, the defense ministers. And so there's really been an increase in cooperations, in day-to-day talks between the French and the Americans, really since that crisis, which was a low point between Joe Biden and Emmanuel Macron. And really, since the Russian invasion in Ukraine, you've seen the two leaders, but also mostly the two countries, the two administrations, really working closely and putting all of that AUKUS deal crisis in the past.
Kethevane Gorjestani, they're reporting for us from Washington. Well,